Hi, we're the James family. Are you sick of your day-to-day life? Ever thought about doing something different? Well, we did just that. We bought an unfinished aluminium catamaran and are fixing her up as we sail around the world. Come along for the journey and click subscribe. This week, we are sailing in between and dodging some massive ships, and we're jumping in the water to see what exactly has been happening below our waterline. So this morning we've left Pancake Creek at 6:30, left at high tide out of the area, and we are headed north to Yellow Patch. And we've got the mainsail up at the moment and the screecher. And we're going through Gladstone, so we've got all the bulk ships around us, and Sam really likes going close to them.
Just checking them out. That's the kind of stuff I used to work.
So Sam used to work on ships like this, and yeah, so now when we go through anchorages, we just go really close to have a look. I think Sam's having the best time of his life going through the anchorage.
Yeah, it's awesome checking out all the ships, and sometimes the watchkeepers get a bit nervous and radio you up, letting you know you're a bit close. But yeah, that guy held his nerve. We went right next to him, so that was a lot of fun.
How close can Sam get? Just coming up on the stern of this one here.
A lot easier to pass the sterns because you can always spare away, but when you're going across the bow, you've got to be so much more careful. Yeah, if it doesn't work out, you can only go upwind so much.
Sam in his element. What you looking at?
Just seeing what they were up to. We're in the ship's wind shadow.
Just passing Marvelous Star at the moment, this one. All this white here is the accommodation. You can see the bridge wing out this side, the emergency, forget what they're called, emergency flotation dinghy, and all of this. And this one is waiting to be loaded, and you can tell because their stern is up a little bit, and they're not deep in the water, and they're on anchor waiting to be boarded by a pilot boat to go in. And Gladstone is one of the largest harbors, which is why there's so many. I don't know if the GoPro will catch all of these, but there's so many up front.
It wasn't a pilot boat, it was a speedboat. No, Dave. Stick with me, love. I'll teach you a thing or two.
Sam was like, "Oh, a pilot boat's coming out." Oh, it's just a plain old fishing boat.
Hey, I know boats. Look out!
So the pilot boats bring pilots, personnel on board. You need the person to be on board when you go into a harbor, and they'll drop down stairs alongside. The pilot boat will come along, pilot goes up, and then onto the bridge wing, and then you go in. Easy peasy.
And they direct the tugs and everything, yeah, and advise the captain.
Yeah. We had a lot of, we dealt with a few pilots out of Cairns, and they were awesome.
They loved Kate because Kate would like cook stuff and bring them up muffins and bits and pieces. And if Kate wasn't on board, they'd come on board. The first thing they'd ask is, "Where's Kate?" If they weren't on board, they wouldn't even talk to me. They'd go outside and talk on their phone or hang out, or just wanted to see you.
A few of them came on board, and you just asked them if they wanted a cuppa. You get to know them, and do you want a cuppa? Bake some cookies. Do you want a cookie or some bread? And what would you like? And yeah, they're a lot of fun. Such nice people. Yeah.
Super nice people. And don't get me wrong, they weren't just outside on their phone. I was doing a pilot exemption, so they'd done a lot of runs with me before. and hopefully they had faith in me, and so then they felt comfortable going outside just for a small period. So, yeah, pilots are very good and very responsible.
So we are approaching Yellow Patch at the moment. So it's dusk at the moment. If we don't get there with enough sunlight to go in, we'll just anchor out at Cape Capricorn, which is the point that we're getting up to right now. Drop the anchor for the night and then go in the morning.
Yeah, that'll be the plan. We'll go in the morning on the last of the rising tide. High tide's at 8 o'clock in the morning, so we'll just get up at 6:37 and cruise on in, and it'll be easier to find an anchorage. There is a catamaran behind us though, and if they go in, we'll follow them and then just figure out where to anchor when we get in there. We'll see how we go. We've
got the stabilizing binoculars right there, and someone's been watching them through the binoculars. We've had about 12 other boats with us today leaving and heading north, and we've been spying on all of them, what boats they are, and yeah. And Yellow Patch is somewhere we haven't been, and it is, we've heard, beautiful and somewhere that only catamarans can get into.
Yeah, high tide only. You got to skip over some sandbanks to get in there. That's kind of why we either want daylight or some kind of light to see what we're doing, or follow someone else in. But we've heard there's lots of crabs in there, so we're really excited. Yeah.
The tunas that we caught the trip up to Pancake Creek, we have their heads in the refrigerator, so we want to get I want to get crabs. I also want to get rid of the heads on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's been a really good sail today.
Yeah.
It's just a bit cold at the moment.
We're heading north. We're heading north.
Dropping the main. The main's away, and the catamaran that was behind us has turned and is coming this way towards us, so they're going to the same place we are, and which is just over there. So last night we dropped the anchor outside of Yellow Patch, and the plan this morning was to go in on high tide and spend a few days at Yellow Patch. But the winds were really good this morning, so we've actually changed our minds. We're headed north and we're headed to Great Keppel Island.
Yeah. So we had a look in there. We forgot that it was school holidays as well. And Yellow Patch looked fantastic, but there was a heap of kids and campers and all sorts of things like that. And we enjoy a bit more of a quiet life, so.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense we're going to Keppel for the quiet life, but it's got rubbish bins and a few other things there, and phone reception to upload some videos and do bits and pieces, and then we'll keep heading.
And right now we're sailing along nicely at 5.1 knots, and we're wing on wing. So we've got the main sail out on one side and the head sail out on the other, and this is what she's looking like. So this is called wing on wing. And we've got a reef in the main, so what that means is that the main sail is not full sail, and we've got part of it in the bag, so one reef in.
Whenever you do wing on wing, people think you go directly downwind, and with cats that's not exactly the case. You'll always be slightly off the breeze, and what you'll do is you'll always have your lighter sail on the slightly upwind side. And that's always usually the one out in front, whether it's a screecher, spinnaker or head sail. And what will happen is you'll deflect wind off your main sail and into that higher side there, so it still gets plenty of push, and then away you go. A lot of people believe you get your bigger sail, which is your spinnaker, on the lower side, but you always get your lighter sail on the higher side, and the bigger sail, the heavier sail, on the lower side, so you can keep them both up and cruise along nicely.
Yeah. Charlie's up. She's just gotten up. Hello? You cold? There you go. How's that? Once we are anchored at Great Keppel Island, we look overboard and see that the water here is super clear. And there's one thing that we've been meaning to do. Okay, so today's the day we're jumping in the water and giving the hull a scrub.
Yeah. So you probably can't tell, I'm a bit slack when it comes to shaving, and it was sort of impromptu. We're like, oh, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it now. So I've just quickly shaved my top lip and not the rest because I didn't have time, just so my mask doesn't leak when we're down there. So hopefully it's not going to take long at all, but the water here at the Keppels is crystal clear, nice and shallow, and it's a strong wind warning tomorrow, so it'll be a bit more uncomfortable if we try and do it then. So yeah, we're going to jump in now and give the boat a bit of love.
We've been slowly watching the grass grow back, and the brush from the tinny does the top bit but doesn't reach the bottom, and we're like, oh, we should jump in, but then it's too cold, and now we're it's warm, and we're farther north and it's warmer, so we're jumping in. I'm
still wearing a jumper, by the way. It's not totally warm, but yeah, we'll jump in and get it done.
How warm is it?
Honey.
All right, let's go. We have scrubbed the hulls a few times from the tender with the broom, but because we were in areas of murky waters, neither one of us were game to jump in the water, and the broom didn't reach nearly as far down as what we would hope. So now that we are in clear, calm waters at Great Keppel Island, it's a perfect time to jump in the water and reach her undersides. We are due for a haul out for anti-fouling in the near future. We don't know when or where yet, as we're still organizing it, but we do know we'll get her hauled out soon. After a bit of scrubbing, her hulls went from looking like this to looking like this.
All over me.
We've just finished cleaning the hull, and we're covered
in these little lice things, so I'm gonna go and have a warm shower and wash them all off us.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see them, they're all moving and everything. They're little, we had an ecosystem, or the Great Barrier Reef on our bottom. Yeah. Warm shower sounds really nice. Thank you for watching. Join us next week as we see just how fast she can go with a clean bum. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you all next week.